Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
I'm Angel, and this is DreamStar Toys Silverbolt. A very interesting tidbit about this guy is that it's actually called Silverbolt, and it's based on the Transformers character Silverbolt. Usually, third-party companies, to avoid any legal issues, they give their toys weird names. So I'm very surprised that they actually stuck with the actual name of the character. Now, first things first, I like this figure. I like how it looks. I like posing it. But even though I like it, it does have its issues. And there's a lot of issues that we're going to be discussing, a couple of them as the review goes along. But first, some comparisons. First of all, here he is next to an MP Prime. As you can see, this guy is very, 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 very tall in comparison to the Prime. And now we're starting to see some of those issues. If you notice that he was falling backwards. Now, for the Shuckster piece, or reformatted, that's how he compares to our reformatted Optimus Prime. Towers over them. And last but not least, until I get some legend scale figures, here he is next to a mainline Optimus Prime. As you can see, he is very, very small in comparison to this guy. For accessories, this guy includes this thing that can transform into a gun for him, and he can actually hold it pretty well. But sadly, this doesn't really go anywhere in alt mode, so I don't care much for it. You can actually remove this and get a smaller gun that you can give him. You can actually also put this in here. So besides that, he comes with a flight stand and two of these cars that they just transform into the feet of the combined mode. But again, since I'm not really interested in the combined mode, I'm not really gonna be using this. As for gimmicks and playability for this guy, like I said, you can peg this into the cannon to give him an even bigger cannon, but it looks ugly because of how thin it is. Besides that, the arm cannon is actually the front of the plane. So that's an interesting way to incorporate parts forming into the transformation. Usually I'm not a huge fan of parts forming, but when the parts forming is integrated well, and especially when it turns into a weapon for the figure, that I can get behind. And for me, this one, with all the issues it has, this was done very well. As for its playability, sadly it's a bit stiff to pose, and sometimes you feel like you might be breaking something. If you want to get a cool pose on him, you have to almost fight him a little bit. If you want to, everything everything is, and even then, because something and then this is very, very, very stiff, and something like that, and this keeps falling to the side. It's whoop. That's it's actually holding on with the back of the arm. That's very shameful. Sadly, very, very shameful. As far as the plastic feels, it feels good. It feels robust. There's actually die cast on the feet of this. I'm not sure if it has die cast on any other pieces. Some armatures are actually die cast, and I'm pretty sure it has die cast on the inside. Don't know if he has any die cast anywhere else. I don't think he has die casting all this junk. I don't think so, at least. But you're not. Okay, so let me level with you. This thing has breakage problems, and the funny thing is, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break, because when you're handling it, everything feels very rigid, but I guess that's the problem. It feels so rigid that when you're moving things, they have a tendency to snap. Then for hardware, he does have ratchets in a lot of places. Some soft ratchets, some hard ratchets, and a lot of tension joints. Just a lot of them all around. The hardware is not the worst issue with this guy though, because the hardware I believe is okay. It's better than okay actually. It's passable. Where it does fall, however, is in the build. As you can see, I keep fighting with this thing because this is just a peg, right? It should just peg in that hole, but it doesn't feel like, again, it's not tight enough for it. It keeps like dancing around. Also, some ratchets are scary tight. You move things and sometimes you feel like you might actually break something, and something came undone back here. Did it? No. It's just this thing is flying in the air, and I'll explain why soon. Well, I'll explain why now. See here? That came broken out of the box. This should be pegged on that, like here. See that? That's pegged there. But since it doesn't have that piece there because it fell off from out of the box, that just like fell. Besides that, the ankles, they're fine from the sides, but up and down, they don't feel loose. But since this guy is so back heavy, it doesn't take much to actually, doesn't take much to topple him over. So when you're posing him and you're like just displaying him, you have to be very careful. If you can, like, put something behind him, because it doesn't, like, right now it's fine, but usually it doesn't take much for him to topple over. And it's scary because, again, since a lot of the pieces are rigid, they can become brittle and they will snap and they will break. And before I forget, another issue with the build, not everything wants to peg in properly for transformation. A lot of the things you feel like you have to fight the figure to make them fit, and sometimes like this, it doesn't want to just like, it doesn't tab in. Like, the tab is inside the hole, but it's not really tabbed in. It's held there by tension, which I know some people might not mind, but with how expensive this dude is, like, I wish a lot of the things here would tab better. They were, it's shameful because this is one of the figures I was looking forward to the most last year, and it's a shame. I had high hopes for him, and I wanted to fall in love with it. See, here, it's actually really well tensioned. Like, this peg here, it's like, it's actually holding on there. This one, not so much. Even though, like, I have it there, and it's very, very inconsistent. Then when you're trying to peg in the panels for jet mode, good luck. I'll talk about the transformation soon, but it's not the best. Then for the sculpt, I think it looks great. The sculpting and the details, I think they're superb. This guy looks like he could be part of the live action universe. And even though he has all of this, personally, I don't mind how this looks. I honestly don't mind how that looks. Like, to me, like, it's fine. Like, it could be better, but like, it's a lot of wings that they have to deal with. I think it was handled as best they could have. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, because I know a lot of people like don't enjoy this part, and honestly, this is the worst part of the whole transformation. Just flipping a bunch of panels up and down. It could have been done better. I think honestly it could have been done easier. But it is what it is. I don't mind how it looks. I think the backpack is fine. I think it cleans up nice. So for the sculpting and the detailing on it, it's honestly one of my favorite features of this guy. For the presses and paint, this guy commands presence. You see him, you put him, even though he's just a bunch of silver, a bunch of gray, he still stands out. I feel he still stands out in any collection. It has some paint detailings. I do like the detailing on the feet, on the legs. This thing keeps... This is gonna be the bane of my existence now, because it just does not want to cooperate anymore. What if I put you on the other one? Better, I guess. Where was I? Yes, the painting and the detail. I actually love it, and I enjoy it a lot. I think it looks great. I think like the whole caution thing here, like it's really good detail. The red crest looks very nice. However, I have to mention though, the eyes. Normally they're soulless because it does have a light up feature that I don't really care about, so that's why I didn't even mention it in the gimmicks. I disassembled the whole head and I painted the eyes yellow. I think it looks great like that. So if you get this guy, that's honestly what I would recommend. Because if not, it just looks dead. It looks like a dead bot. And who likes a dead bot? People that are botophobics, I guess. Now for articulation. It's decent. The only issue with the articulation mostly is just how tight some joints are, that they're scary tight, and again, the main issue with this is the ankle rockers are very, very limited. Very limited. They're not limited to this side, away from him, which is weird, but towards him, they're very limited. So, he can only go so far. Which I wish I was. Hey, I wish it was better. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. I wish it was better, and yeah, like now he's actually behaving. Like I'm bullying him. No, he's falling forward now. Again, it's inconsistent because sometimes he wants to fall backwards because he is back heavy. Sometimes he wants to fall forward, which confuses the fuck out of me. But it is what it is. This thing, articulation-wise, just okay. No ab crunch, which, weird. Do you have a waist swivel? He does. Jesus. He does have a waist swivel. So that's fine, but no ab crunch, so... Which, I guess because of all this junk, it would be weird to have... they could have made it work. This thing is very, very, very annoying. Very annoying. The cannon. So transforming this thing was not fun at all. It probably one of the worst transformations in my whole collection. And honestly, it wasn't even hard. It was just really, really fucking annoying. It's weird because like I've gone through hard transformations and usually once I finish it, I feel satisfied. It's like, wow, I did that. I transformed it. This one just pissed me the fuck off. It pissed me off and it was annoying. That was it. That was it. These panels, because here's the thing. Transforming the body wasn't that bad. Like, this whole area down here, it wasn't terrible. The issue was the fucking panels on the back. These panels, like, all of this is just panels. Panels. Moving them properly was annoying. Tabbing them was a fucking odyssey. Then the front of the ship was annoying. The book was not any help. I saw videos, and honestly, none of the videos did the transformation properly, I think. So that was really annoying. All the videos I saw skip parts that I had to, like, figure out how to do by myself. So if you're into interesting, fun transformations, I would say skip this guy just because this transformation is not fun. It doesn't feel good. You don't feel realized after you finish it. At least I just felt annoyed and pissed off after finishing it. And I am dreading turning it back. Because I kind of want to, because I prefer this guy in bot mode. Now the jet itself, It's not terrible. It looks fine. It rolls well because the landing gear works really well. So it's fun to actually move around. It looks big. It's imposing as shit. Let me show you how it looks like next to like an MP Prime. Look at that. You totally rest an MP Prime on top of it, and you still have real estate. This thing is, Jesus. This thing is ginormous, and I feel like things moving around as I play with it. The funny thing is, at first glance, I think it looks fine, but I don't have it completely properly tabbed in. There are these panels on the back that they're supposed to tab in into, like, there are slots there, and they're supposed to tab in there. Because it's supposed to be more flush than this. And even I don't have it, like, completely there. So, like, it's very, even if you have it properly, it's still very, very fucking gappy. So that's something you have to look for. If you don't like gaps in your alt modes, tough shit. This is not the figure for you. Now, funny thing is, I showed it to my girlfriend. She said the bottom looks like it's just guts, which is funny because that's basically what it is. It's just like, you know, it's like a double chest. The arms are here. The legs are here. I think it hides things decently. But yeah, like once she mentioned it, like I look at it now and just, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like guts. So I don't know, dude. This is one that I'm probably just gonna have in alt mode once, maybe twice if I'm feeling masochistic. Cause it's fine. Like, look at this here. This is actually supposed to be covered up. And let me show you with what. There are these panels here, right? It's not the right one, but like, yeah. There are these panels here. They're supposed to cover this up. So it looks a little less gappy. But this one came broken out of the box. Now, even if I ask for a replacement part, which I don't think I will, I have no way to remove that out of there. Maybe with a drill bit. Maybe. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Now, this one just didn't come with this side. This side came broken out of the box. This one just was not in the box. You know what was in the box? The fucking peg. At least I think that's the peg that goes there. But the fucking peg was in the box. But not the panel. And this panel doesn't go with this one because this one, like, does not fit there. This one goes here. And it fits perfectly. Yeah, I can leave it there. It's just, I don't know, man. And now that I think about it, this actually looks like one of these. But these are there. So, yeah, like, even though I lost a peg somewhere in all this, it still, like, sort of pegs in properly. Sort of. Honestly, this is just shameful. This is very, very, very shameful. I'll be honest, I like the alt mode. It looks fine. Like, it looks imposing. It's not like a big badass shit, but I just wish it was better. So the miscellaneous part of the video is one of my favorite ones because I get to talk about just things that irk me or happen to me specifically or things that I have noticed. Besides this that I already showed you. These, you see this? You see this white piece here? That's because this was supposed, let's see if I have the piece around. I do. I already showed you during the alt mode, but yeah, like, this was supposed to be here. And there was supposed to be another one here. Now, like I said before, this one just did not come with the figure. This one came broken out of the box. Besides that, the hands are brittle. Mine, in the thumb, it broke. So even though I have the thumb around, I have it right here. Even though I have the thumb around, I can put the thumb in, but it's not gonna stay. I mean, let me show you that. Let me show you that from a different. Cause look. You see that? That's it's broken plastic. That's broken plastic. And I could contact Shosi Store, that's where I bought it from, to get a replacement hand, but honestly, I just don't feel like it. Even though I like this guy, I don't feel like getting any replacement pieces for it. Because I have heard of people that keep getting replacement pieces for him, and they just keep breaking. So I'm not gonna get, like the back flaps, because they might break anyways. I'm not gonna get an alternate hand because these hands, the plastic on the hands feels even stiffer than the rest of the figure, so they're brittle as shit. I heard from a friend that the back of his came with a pack that was broken, so Shosi Store just sent him a whole back assembly. I don't know, man. Like, I feel, I heard from people that their ankles just came broken in the box, and a dude was like doing this, and the hand just like fell off. It gave up on life. It died. It killed itself. And there was no way to fix it. He would have to like get a whole replacement arm and get the whole ratchets replaced, which is fucking insane. DreamStar Toys dropped the ball with this guy. The other ones weren't that good, from what I heard. I wanted him because he looked the coolest from all of them. But apparently, this guy has been the worst release they have done. The way they shipped it was a shame because something this big, this bulky, this stiff needs foam. And they did not deliver foam. If you saw my unboxing, you saw that the blister was completely shattered. Which is why a lot of the pieces on this just came broken. It's a real shame because I really wanted to love this guy. I still like him, to be quite honest. Even though he is weird, even though, I keep stabbing myself because, like, these parts are sharp as shit. So you have to be very careful. Even though, like, this knee is properly assembled, but this knee is not. And I have no idea how the hell to make that one work. Maybe it's something in the back. I don't know. From what I'm looking, yeah, it looks like it's something in the back. That, if you see here, this is not uncovered. But this is. So I have no clue what's going on there. I'm gonna have to pop those out and like fix the knee so it's in the proper assembly position. I'm rambling, but I'm rambling because this was shameful. And I am so sad. And honestly, let's go to the other parts. Whereas for price, I paid about $167 for it from Shosi Store. I had a bunch of points saved up, so I just bought this guy with a couple of points I had. Honestly, I would not go over 170 for this guy. I know a lot of retailers have him for $230, and no, for $230 you can get yourself a Fans Toys figure, which is probably gonna be a lot better than this. I wouldn't pay that much for this guy. Even with 167 that I paid, I think 160 is fair. So like 170 170 shipped. I think that's fair for this. Specifically because it's Schrodinger's bot. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know if it's actually gonna have all its pieces. You don't know if the tolerances are gonna be fine. You don't know if it's gonna break. As much as I've been complaining, I was lucky. I was lucky because from a lot of the people I know, I barely had any issues with mine. And that's me being lucky. And you have seen how many issues I got with this guy. So is it worth it? Is this guy worth it? To me, personally, because I like cool robots, to me it is. Were I to go back in time, I would not buy him again. Just straight up, I would not buy him again. Because it's very, very scary handling him. So to me, it is worth it because I like it. But if you're going in for the combined mode, we don't know how sturdy the combined mode is. So make of that what you will. I love it. I enjoy it a lot. But if I were to go back in time, no, I would totally just skip this dude. And here's the rubric. As you can see, I took away points for a lot of things. The sculpting and the presence in the paint is the only place I could, in good conscience, give it good points. Everything else, I deducted half a point, with the exception of build and transformation, because the transformation was annoying as shit. It was bad. It wasn't even difficult. It was just bad. It was a bad transformation because you have to fight with it. And the build, because a lot of the building on it was really bad. And a lot of people were reporting breakages. And in the miscellaneous, I did take off a whole point because of all the known QC issues. There's just too many to ignore. Even if I hadn't known about all those QC issues, because of the QC issues on mine, I would have taken up a whole point because it's unforgivable. Just how expensive this is compared to just the shoddy QC it has. And that's why for the final point, I'm giving this a 4 out of 10, which gives it a F-. Please, I need to talk to your designers. We need to talk to the social worker because something is going on in the house. This should not happen. I'm a teacher, that's why I talk that way. As for my final thoughts, what else can I say that I haven't said already? This is a figure I was really looking forward to. Sadly, the final product was a disappointment. And I don't like being disappointed because I was really looking forward to this thing. But it's just the QC issues, the really bad packaging practices. The outside of the packaging was great. It looks so fancy, especially with the plastic wrapping around it. But the inside, oh, a plastic blister for something this big, for something this sharp. No, man, no, that is not how you do things. If you like stylized bots and aren't planning on transforming him too many times, then I guess it would be fine. I would tell you, sure, go ahead and get one. But even someone in Facebook told me, never transform him. It's not worth it. And honestly, as final thoughts go, I am sad. That's what I can tell you. I am sad. Anyways, join me next time, and my next review we'll be looking at Titanium Series Menasor. That's it for the review, and here it is, your moment of zen.
You will have to decide. You will have to decide. You will have to decide. Stay in formation. Target's just ahead. Target should be clear if you're going low enough. You will have to decide. You will have to decide. You will have to decide.